Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's Rendition jet exposed. Nigeria is in a big trouble. But do you know that Nigeria play a very fast one on the whole world? Do you know the reason why Tinubu changed that jet and buy new one? It's because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because that number had been tracked, traced, and to know that that is the jet they used in forceful rendition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Let me not waste much of your time, but I would like you to see this video and then we'll come back for more discussion. Please drop your opinion at the comment section. Chai.
I did an extensive fact-checking yesterday night, and what I discovered will shock you. So listen and come closer. Do you know that for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be flown back to Nigeria under the cover of darkness after his kidnap and illegal rendition and torture back in Kenya, the Nigerian government under the evil Buhari needed to conceal his extraction to avoid international clearance and legal protocol? And of course, you know. And yes, he needed a jet to do it. But this time, one with diplomatic immunity. A jet with diplomatic immunity. The big story here is, no other jets could fit into this role. No other jet could do this job except the presidential jet. Yes, Nigerian presidential jet. That is the only jet that is covered by diplomatic immunity. That is the only jet that can, even in the middle of the night, even in the early morning, 24 hours a day, can fly out of this country to anywhere, any location around the world, does not need international clearance, does not need to identify itself, does not need any protocol. That is the only jet that can be summoned in any time, anywhere in the world, and that jet will fly from Nigeria to that place, because that is the Nigerian presidential jet. Recorded in the world, recorded in the UN, recorded by all the countries. All the countries of the world have the number of these jets, have the identity of these jets, so that they will always identify that this is the Nigerian presidential jet and they should let it fly past. On that fateful day, this illegal act happened. It was done in the cover of darkness because the two countries did not want their citizens to know, did not want their press to know, did not want to alert Interpol or to alert any suspecting entity. And yes, what better way to do that than to use the presidential jet, the highest jet of the country, to commit an international crime. It pains me saying this. It irks me. You can imagine the level of impunity countries go to score a point. You can imagine the kind of deals they do behind our backs. You can imagine the kind of life they live with the resources of the people. Bringing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria took a lot of resources, took a lot of illegalities, took a lot of diplomatic immunity, waste of resources just to get Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. That shows you the level of impunity that presidents around the world commit with their presidential jets. That shows you the kind of illegality that presidents around the world commit with the government houses they live in, with the presidential house that they live in, and with also most of their international travels they claim they go. This also exposes a lot of things that go on in international crime done by presidents, sitting presidents around the world. We ask, that is how it is. That is how it is. So today, a new one has been discovered today. These are the kind of things happening in Nigeria. These are the kind of people we as Biafrans share country with. People who don't have human conscience, who don't have sense of value. They value nothing. Nothing means anything to them. Anything can be used as a scapegoat. Anything can be used for anything. There is no value. Somebody wake up any day and says he wants to buy presidential jet, he wants to buy helicopter, he wants to buy yacht, and they will sign it for him. Somebody says that he wants to go and kidnap somebody in that country, and everybody clap hand for him. Nobody can even stand up to ask the right questions. This is not the Nigeria our forefathers of Igbo extractions fought for. This is not the Nigeria. I did more fact checking, and I'm going to prove it to you by giving you a list of presidents around the world who their presidential jets, or they themselves with their presidential jets, have been caught in illegality, in crime around the world. These are facts. So you can go and verify. I'm giving you this list exclusively to know that yes, what happened to Nnamdi Kanu happened with Nigerian presidential jets. And presidents around the world are guilty of impunity doing this same thing in their countries. Only God knows what the current Nigerian president is doing with Nigerian presidential jets all this while he travels unaccounted for around the world. Let me give you a list of presidential private jets around the world that has been indicted with illegality and crime. Venezuela, Narcosobrinos cocaine flight. In November 2015, two nephews of Venezuela's first lady used a Cessna Citation 500, a jet operated by military pilots from the presidential unit, Casa Militar, to fly over 800 kg of cocaine to Haiti. The flights originated from a terminal reserved for top officials. The nephews were apprehended by the DEA and prosecuted in the US. Markets, presidential jets, and what they have been used, impunity they used to commit, and one that was also used to rendition Nnamdi Kanu down to Nigeria. Let's go again. Number 2, Brazil, 39 kg of cocaine on a presidential plane. In 2019, a Brazilian army sergeant traveling on a plane reserved for President Bolsonaro's delegation was arrested in Sevilla, Spain, with 39 kg of cocaine in his luggage. The incident raised immediate political outcry and led to an investigation by Brazil's Ministry of Defense. Do you see that? Do you see that I am correct? That presidential jets are not actually presidential after all. These are jets that are supposed to be used for international meetings, to carry the president of a country who is the face of a country, but has turned around to be used for crime, just like the one that Buhari used to do against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And he thought we will not know, but it has already been uncovered. Let's go on. Number 3, Peru. Cocaine found on jets formerly used as presidential aircraft. In 1996, Peruvian authorities intercepted 167 to 176 kg of cocaine aboard a Peruvian Air Force DC-8, which had previously doubled as a presidential aircraft. The flight was set to embark on a mission to Russia. The scandal was connected to Vladimiro Montesinos, head of intelligence service and a key figure in President Fujimori's regime. Also again, in Brazil, also again, in Turkey, 1.3 tons of cocaine in publicly linked aircrafts. In 2021, Brazilian authorities seized 1.3 tons of cocaine on a Gulfstream 4 jet owned by a Turkish firm linked to powerful political circles. You see that? Also, Maduro's jet, illegally acquired aircraft seized by the US. In 2023, the US authorities seized a Dassault Falcon 900EX used by Venezuelan President Maduro, claiming it had been illegally acquired through a shell company and smuggled from the US in violation of sanctions. The jet was intercepted in Dominican Republic. And the last one, El Chapo gifted presidential aircraft. A private plane that mysteriously arrived in Honduras in 2006, supposedly a gift from drug lord El Chapo Guzman to a top government official, was grounded after landing at midnight under odd circumstances. This is what we see. This is what is going on around the world. And I think the Interpol needs to start investigating aircrafts, presidential aircrafts. They need to strip them of diplomatic immunity. Because even as we speak to you, nobody knows what the Nigerian president is still doing with the Nigerian presidential aircraft again. Buhari used this aircraft. The same aircraft that was used, that is meant to be used to ferry presidents around the world for international summits here and there. Many presidents have begun using it to commit crime because, of course, you know, nobody can search a presidential jet. Nobody can search it. So, we know that Mazen Kanu was ferried back to Nigeria. But today, you all have known now that Mazen Kanu was ferried back to Nigeria with Nigerian Air Force One. Go and mark it down. They will never tell you this thing on TVC. Channels will never tell you this one. On presidential jet, that is the only jet that could have done that mission. The only jet. Because no other jet could do it. Any other jet coming into Kenya in that time would have been suspected and flagged and searched according to protocol. And of course, Kenyatta would not want to directly involve himself. But if Nigerian presidential jets landed and they marked the number as presidential jets under diplomatic immunity, whatever the jet is doing in tarmac, whatever it is doing in the airport, nobody will talk to it. Nobody will ask. A lawless estate, a business center. If not, tell me, what gives the president a power to misuse, to abuse privilege, to abuse public resources? It's as if now, once you become Nigerian president, you become the owner of Nigerian money. That's how it is. You are the king of you are the lord of the manor. To wake up early morning and go and carry out international crime, you have just shown the world the kind of things that go on in Nigeria. Before they were doubting, but now it's clear. I hope our leaders in all the pro-Biafra groups are watching to see the mistakes that Nigeria is making and to learn from it. Because we cannot afford this kind of character when we have our country. We can't afford it. So all this in-house fighting here and here, people, you know, nobody wants to bow for anybody. Everybody is dragging positions in these groups. Let me tell you, if you continue like this, Biafra may not last 24 hours. Another country will break away again in Biafra. Because personally, I can't stand this. We need to have unity of command. A people are united in the mind. When Ojukwu was alive, everybody knew Ojukwu was. He never came out one day to declare himself. Ojukwu naturally was. So this is what we need to do. We need to learn from the mistakes of this country and form our ideas going forward. We don't need to make the same mistakes Nigeria is making. We don't need to be disorganized. We don't need to be scattered. We need to learn to move forward. The illegality that's happened in Mazen Kanu, we should never try it in the Biafra. We should never try it. Dignity of human life should be the watchword. Fair trial, justice, fairness, rule of law should be paramount above everything else. Lust for money, love for money should be frowned upon. We should have institutions that are created to moderate the tests for money. We should. That is what we are for. Because definitely we cannot throw the poor on the ground because we are Igbo and we are filled with billionaires. Then we now march upon each other's head like that. No. We should have we should have institutions that protect the interest of the general people regardless of your social status, your wealth, or your wealth or not. The law must be there to protect you. And we should have special laws for the downtrodden. Those ones should be protected at all costs, because you know that they form a core of society around the world. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notification. Click on the bell that says all to get notified whenever we drop a video. Till I see you next video, I have been your host, Chi Ne Do. Peace. I did an extensive fact-checking yesterday night, and what I discovered will shock you. So listen and come closer. Do you know that for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be flown back to Nigeria under the cover of darkness after his kidnap and illegal rendition and torture back in Kenya, the Nigerian government under the evil Buhari needed to conceal his extraction to avoid international clearance and legal protocol? And of course, you know. And yes, he needed a jet to do it. But this time, one with diplomatic immunity. A jet with diplomatic immunity. The big story here is, no other jets could fit into this role. No other jets could do this job.
Okay. Well, this story now is becoming somehow interesting and complicating. Why do I say it is interesting now? Because the international community on aviation have picked interest on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And why do I say it is complicating? Complicating in the sense that initially we were thinking that Ifeanyi Ubah, because he made that statement by himself, Ifeanyi Ubah is a hater of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is a hater of IPOB. In fact, Ifeanyi Ubah is a hater of anything that Igbo people represents. So, don't have this mindset that, oh, we are lying to you, we're having double tongue. No. Ifeanyi Ubah make that statement, and we have to pick it up from there. Are you hearing me now? It is not alleged, it is not a propaganda, but he made that statement by himself. Not until people start to lambast him, people start to backlash him, then he feel he want to make amends by going to visit Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, by taking Uchechi Kanu, that's wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to the DSS. So don't get it twisted, my brother. Don't get it twisted, my sister. The real news now is that Nigerian government used their presidential private jet to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya back to Nigeria under Forceful Rendition. Law against, an illegal act against the laws of Kenya, against the laws of Nigeria, against the international laws. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to, this is third time he will be in Brazil. So since the presidential jail can never be searched, who knows how many kilos of afiocha, who knows how many kilos of unto that this guy will be loading and offloading in Nigeria each time he made a travel. That bust, that illicit drug bust in St. Lucia of over $3 billion, that consignment belongs to the president of Nigeria, alleged by some investigative journalist. That was why he had to travel there to make a deal with the government of St. Lucia, promising them, giving them fake, I call it fake free education, because any other government that come in place will cancel that free education. Just know it. Because you cannot tell me that Nigerian students are planning to go on strike and you are busy giving another country free education when in your own country the students there are still struggling. So I call it fake free education. If his tenure ends in 4 years, another person will cancel it. If his tenure ends in 8 years, another government will cancel that scholarship. So he went there in a bid to make a deal with them, in a bid to make sure that they release what they captured, because it belongs to him. He have to make them that promise. He have to give them that scholarship plus other under table settlement, and he have to transport his consignment back to Nigeria. Tomorrow you will hear a largest drug bust in Lagos or in Abuja, and the name of the owner will never be in paper, because they know the name of the owner is the chairman and chief executive, and the first citizen of that zoo called Nigeria. So don't get it twisted. Nigeria is really in a big trouble. The aviation industry now will do everything to make sure that they sanction Nigeria. Even that presenter jet, they have put it for sale. Nobody dare to buy it, because that presenter jet already have been marked as exhibit. The presenter jet they used in conveying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a lot of things is going to be, a lot of secrets will be unraveled when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be, when he finally joins us. A lot of secrets will be unraveled. He will be the one to tell us. I know he was blindfolded from Kenya down to Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu was blindfolded. So maybe he wouldn't even know whether he is in a private jet or presenter jet or a jet that belongs to anybody. But maybe as an intelligent man he is, he will understand when you sit on a private jet, the seat and the arrangement of the seat is never the same with commercial jet. So maybe he will know. Or maybe he will know that it's a private jet, but he cannot be able to expatiate whether it is a presenter private jet. Air Force One, Abi, Air Force 2. Nigeria know they use Air Force now. US they use Air Force 1 and Air Force 2, Abi. Waiting that they call like their own jet again. I don't know, because I'm not part of that their nonsense country. So what am I trying to say? This is a win-win for the Biafrans. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win game. No matter how you take it, no matter how you want to twist it, it is a win-win for us. And like I always say, it will never get better until it gets worse. And that is the worst of it all, is what we are into right now. The worst of it all. Our people are being killed every day. Fulanis have been a kind of escorted by Nigerian military into our territory to be killing our people. Our houses have been burnt. All our Igwes, all our political leaders, all our political idiots, all our representatives, both at national, at the state, and local level, have all been compromised. It can never get good until it gets worse. And that is the worst part of it, where we are at this moment. And that is why I tell you that we have already won this fight. I don't know how you want to see it. I don't know how you want me to explain it to you. But the fact still remains that we have won this fight. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. It is a win-win for us. And a win-win it shall remain. So if you get this message, endeavor to share it. Drop your opinion at the comment section. In fact, let it go viral. A lot of people need to go. And please, if you are sharing this message on X, on YouTube, on Facebook, tag at Ray Donald Trump, tag at Alex Tom, tag also at Finland government, and also tag at Elias Garosulis, the Mumu man. Yes. Let him see this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to, as a lobbyist, or rather, tag Bruce Fein, because I think he is the international legal representative of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I think he, as a white man who declared that they are more superior than the blacks, supposed to be the one to find out this illegalities that happened. Supposed to be the one, at least, to make his findings using an investigative journalist to unravel the secret on what happened, on how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and forceful rendition. What method are they use? Do they use car? Is it by train, or do they go by the sea or by air? Bruce Fein is nowhere to be found. They have eaten his money being given to him to work as a lobbyist, or rather as a legal representative based on international level. Then we, the Biafrans, are the ones who have to put eye on the ground to make the findings and then unravel what have been kept secret for good 4 years. May the God be praised. Let us dissect the comment section. Uzochukwu said, but some IPOB member said, is Ifeanyi Uba jet Nigeria use? Why? He said, why? Why? Because he feared that the IPOB have lied to him. Then let us see somebody who responded to him. He said, Mr. Man, say what you know. Why? Because the so-called Mr. Ifeanyi Uba said it by himself. I thank God not only me is here where Ifeanyi Uba made it clear to everybody. Majestic also said, no IPOB said that. It means Simon Ekpa and his criminal gang that said it. Voila. Okay, Mazichi said, yes, it is Ifeanyi Uba jet. He made it clear by his own self. Star what he said, that is problem. Thank God he have been vindicated. Mazichi said, IPOB never said that. We don't accuse people without solid evidence. At that time, there were a lot of conspiracy theories. What IPOB confirmed is that Kenyan authorities were involved, and the Nigerian security agents who kidnapped him later handed him over to the DSS in Abuja. So don't come tomorrow and claim IPOB said they use a presidential jet. We have always preferred that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself expose the full details about his kidnap. That doesn't mean we lack the information. It simply means we respect his voice on the matter. Everyone, however, is free to share their own thoughts and findings. Uzochukwu, any jet that can be provided the diplomatic status of a presidential jet and it will fly a mission in that status. Abi? Okay, last but not the least, Nedu Nweze said that IPOB never said that. IPOB can never accuse without solid evidence. So my wonderful people, if you are saying here, we will take back break. According to my Oyibo people, they said, I rest my case, Messiano, on God. So please, circulate this video. Let it go viral. I love you all.